Now, we asked you on Twitter this morning to get involved with Sign, Call, Sell. Today, we want to hear from Manchester United fans. Who do you want to sign in this window? If you were the manager, who would you give a quick call to? Could literally be anyone. And finally, who would you sell? A lot of you have been getting in touch. Someone has tweeted in saying, I would sign Jules Koundé, the Sevilla centre-back. Also sign Erling Haaland, Declan Rice and Kieran Trippier. Interesting. Wow. I would call Luis Campos, the Lille director of football, of course, and sell Jesse Lingard. Sean has tweeted in saying, sign Haaland, call Jack Grealish, sell Anthony Martial. Richard, who has basically just tweeted a long list of people that he thinks United should sell, including Martial, Lingard, James, Rojo and Jones. Interesting to see Martial on a couple of the sell list there. JD, let's start with you, because look, Gary Neville said on Sunday after that goalless draw with Liverpool that look, a centre-back and a right winger are probably the areas that Manchester United need to improve to really challenge for the title. So it may be no surprise that centre-back and a right winger are some of these options here that people have tweeted in.
Yeah, I don't think that does come as a surprise. Man United fans have been very vocal on the Twitter timeline. You sometimes have to listen to the fans. When a common denominator in terms of position is consistently said, they're obviously seeing something. But I do want to kind of pick on Sean, maybe because you're my namesake in terms of my middle name, but at the same time, like to want to sell Anthony Martial after what would be his career high in terms of goals for Manchester United in the league last year. I think that's a harsh thing to turn around and be saying. And I'm actually a little bit surprised to see that on the timeline from a lot of Manchester United fans at this moment in time, because Martial is working in terms of with that front three with Rashford and Greenwood and the rotation that Ollie's trying to do at this moment in time. So I don't see why Martial would be top of the list as a player that they would be trying to maybe potentially push out.
Well, he's got a lot of potential, hasn't he? Go on, were you going to say
something? No, don't forget Diallo as well. You know I'm a big fan of Diallo.
Yeah, he's already there.
He's had some training sessions. You know, he's going to be into that front three mix as well.
Right, OK, let's hear from Ollie now on outgoings this window, because he was talking to the media yesterday ahead of tonight's game against Fulham.
Whenever you get a chance to speak to players or learn about their personalities and what you get through a chat when you've been put together, that is very important. And of course, I always... Well, we've been here. We know where we want to get to at Man United. Do you want to be part of bringing us back to the successful times? That's always been one of the topics that we've discussed. We're not here for the quick fix. We have players who have a long-term, how do you say, role to play, even if it's coming in, say an Edinson coming in at the age of 33, he still has a part long term by who he is and how he comes in and what he does to the club and to the players.
Yeah, so Solskjaer saying there that, look, they plan for the future with their signings. Now, yesterday we spoke to the Dutch football expert Marcel van der Kraan on Transfer Talk, who made some really intriguing comments actually about Donny van der Beek. He's only played 249 minutes in the Premier League. Suggestions out there that, look, he's not happy. But according to Marcel, he wants to prove himself. He knew what he was doing when he was joining Manchester United, and that, look, being up against Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes would certainly not be easy. Mark, I mean, listening to Solskjaer there, he must be part of their long-term plans, mustn't he?
Manchester United don't invest £35 million in a player just to sell him 12 months later or to have him sat on the bench. There's clearly a plan in place. You look at the transfer activity that they've been doing over the last sort of 18 to 24 months. It's always been about younger players with potential and promise that they can build into this great Manchester United side. There's always the question mark over Paul Pogba. That's continually there in every single transfer window, and that will be there for as long as he's at the club. And clearly they've got a player in Donny van der Beek there that knows he's walked into a setup that is one of the best in the world. He's trying to earn the jersey of someone like Paul Pogba, who's won the World Cup, or someone like Bruno Fernandes, who's been arguably Manchester United's best player over the last 12 months. So that's the challenge he's got. Just walking away just because he can't get in the team isn't the right answer. The fact that he's saying he wants to stay, he wants to fight, he knows that he's got a challenge on his hand to play for Manchester United and be in the middle of the park for that great club. is what you want to hear. I think maybe it's just one of those that you play the long game with Donny van der Beek. Eventually you'll look at him and go, what a signing he was for Manchester United. Not every single player gets into the starting 11, hits the ground running and is brilliant at the beginning. Sometimes there's a transition period and like you say, he knows that he's got a challenge to earn the jersey. And you get the feeling that perhaps he'll go and do it. He's come from a great setup in Ajax where they produce good youngsters with a good mentality and attitude, and he's gone to one of the biggest clubs in the world.
I think that setup period you're talking about is so important, that transition, because we are in unprecedented times. How many times have we said that in the media at this moment in time? But it would have been more difficult. It's difficult to settle into Manchester United anyway, coming from a team like Ajax, which is notoriously known for selling some of their best young stars across the world, to then combat that with obviously the global pandemic, settling into a new country, and then again one of the most competitive leagues in the world. You have to give him that transition period, that transition year. And you've seen Arteta talk about it, just to sort of compare him to another manager when he was talking about William Saliba. So you're seeing it's a model that modern managers are sort of taking to understand the sort of difficulties of playing in the Premier League straight away. That's what makes Bruno Fernandes such an excellent signing in terms of value for Manchester United.
Carl, what do you make of the situation with Donny van der Beek?
He's only been at Manchester United for, just over 6 months now. He joined early September. The agreement was reached like late August. And that's the interesting one, was when the actual transfer was agreed. There was so much talk about Manchester United going after Jadon Sancho. That talk has completely gone away, it seems, right now. So when they brought in Van der Beek, I think a lot of Manchester United fans that I know were questioning, well, is this the right type of player? Is this a bit of a panic buy? But I think when it comes to Manchester United, let's be honest, they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. We've seen what they've done in the Premier League since it began. They've dominated worldwide and domestically as well. So I think for them, they are planning for the future. They want to get back to that. They want to get back to challenging for titles, to winning trophies. And I think that is part of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's long-term plan. Donny van der Beek, we can talk about him. He's not played as much. He's not had the chance to showcase the talent and skills that he clearly does possess. You don't play for Ajax. You don't play for your national team. You don't get a transfer worth £35 million to Manchester United if you're not good enough. So I think with him, it's just going to take a little bit of time. Probably quite unfortunate for him that he's had Paul Pogba, who seems to have turned it on recently, Bruno Fernandes, who, Mark, I don't think there's any arguments about it. He has been Manchester United's best player over the last 12 months since he arrived. And I think that has put Van der Beek in a difficult position because he wants to play, but how do you get into a midfield that consists of Paul Pogba, World Cup winner, Bruno Fernandes, incredible for them recently. So he has to bide his time, I'd say, and then actually get into that team. And when he gets his opportunities, take it with both hands.